Right, as ever, we're going to start off with the funny bits. This one being from Xavier Kane, who never fails to make me laugh. Oh, God. Like, I'm not sure quite what it is, but I think maybe Big Air Kite League guys are just not that good at unhooking. I'm not sure, but like it just doesn't seem that way. Right, on to the serious bits. This is Natalie Lambrecht. Everyone thought that was the world's first women's board off. It wasn't. She's still got her foot in the strap. Sorry, Natalie. This was, though, and it's Makali Sol. I'll zoom in, don't worry. Look at that. That's nice, isn't it? Then, Makali, I think, must have thought, well, that was a piece of piss. Why don't I just do that with a rotation? Right, I love this bit. So, Ray's obviously been told there on the right that there's 20 seconds to go. So he needs to hurry up, cut this, because the heat is about to begin.
We have 20 seconds until the next heat.
Yes.
What is your review? What is your number? Aponta.
Well, my how can I want to win?
How does this compare, this pão de queijo?
This is pão de queijo compare with some complete.
What's the number you're going to give?
My number is...
Right, here we are into the final, and we're just going to be looking at which scores actually counted to their final score, which is the top 2 out of 6. This is Jeremy Burlando's first scoring move. That's a contra boogie board off with additional rotations on the way down. Right, the next bit's a bit confusing, so pay attention. This scores an 8.1, but the score gets disallowed later on because he does this exact same move another 2 more times. This caught Andrea out, who thought that it'd count as 2 different tricks if he did one with a board flip and one with a tic-tac. You can't have the same highest scoring move twice on your scoreboard. Not in Big Air Kite League. Can't do the same in Big Air Kite League. You can very much do the same in King of the Air though, which is how Jesse Richmond won in 2020. King of the Air judges pretend not to like repetition, but if you do one at the start of the heat and then a load of other stuff, and then one at the end of the heat, they seem to not really remember, and then you get away with it. Back to Jabo, I'm not going to call him that, back to Jeremy Burlando, this is his second scoring move. That's lovely that, isn't it? Really nice. Oh yeah, we'll have it again, why not? Treat ourselves. This is Andrea's second highest scoring move here, which is the same move that you just saw from Burlando, except it's in the other direction and it's got a board flip in it. This is so different to a tic-tac. You would not believe how different that is, okay? Get it into your head. We then missed the next 2 tricks because the stream shat itself. But in terms of the scoreboard, we didn't miss much. All we missed was Andrea improving this trick that we saw earlier by 0.08. So we're in last trick attempt territory here, and it all got a little bit dangle-passy in the end. It didn't make a difference in their final trick scores, but it would have made a difference in their variety score. And look at this, by the way. How sick is that from Burlando? Good on him. Yeah, he doesn't quite have it. Right, let's go and have a look at Andrea's. This one actually almost, well, you'll see. Once all had been said and done and the chickens had been counted, Burlando was the winner, winning his first ever Big Air Kite League stop. What if Andrea had been allowed to do a tic-tac and a flip thing? It wouldn't have made a difference. I've looked through the score. Jeremy had him, regardless. I'm not sure why, but in kiteboarding, no one likes people claiming moves. I think it might be a board sport thing in general, but if you think about other sports like football or tennis, they literally don't stop celebrating, so I don't know why we wouldn't have it in this as well. Anyway, these young Italian boys don't seem to give a shit about anything like that, so they just claim whatever they want. I mean, look at this one. Andrea claims one thing 3 times. I think if we are going to go down this route though, it might be sensible to also judge the celebrations. Like for instance, I would like to see them do a little dance on the sand spit, or perhaps make a human pyramid. Alright, let's examine the best women's heat, which was the quarterfinal with Aaron and Mika, where Aaron actually wins. This is her first scoring move, big late back, that sort of set the tone. Mika immediately responds with a board off. Aaron then follows suit and does her own board off, but it doesn't end up as part of her 2 top scores. Mika then goes and does her boogie board off. She's the only female to ever do this and ever land it in competition. That ends up being the highest scoring trick of the heat. Mika then leads the heat right up until Angeli's 4th trick attempt, which is this, and that puts her back into the lead.
You know, I think that Angeli is just going significantly higher.
The other eventual finalist is Carly Toma, who, watch this, you'll see. Yeah, that's why she ended up there. From that point in the quarterfinals though, she then eats a humongous amount of shit. Twice. Carly then, and I don't really know how, sort of collects herself, rallies round, and then comes back with a banger. Thus securing her position in the final, which, well, the tide was quite high and it was super choppy and no one could really do anything apart from Mika. Proving my theory that no one can beat Mika twice in one day, and that actually, when it comes down to it, the best riders can adapt to shit conditions. Right, the other thing that was interesting about the final is comparing these two tricks. On the left is Aaron, and on the right is Andrea. In these clips, they both take off at the same time, they both do the same rotation, but Aaron crashes. Here's why. Andrea on the right looks like he's riding as fast as he can, whereas Hadlow's got a hand off the bar. It just looks a little bit more pedestrian. It looks like he's riding with a hurt rib, which he is. Anyway, they eventually get up into the air, and as you can see, Andrea's already got his board off here. He's already sussed it. Meanwhile, the goat is still fumbling around near his ankles. This then helps Andrea get the loop done earlier as well. Like, look how much further ahead he is here. Andrea's ready to head back to the rider's tent for some refreshments. Meanwhile, the goat is still very much stuck out in the paddock. And all of this is made worse because Aaron's gone for a contra loop, a front hand loop, which takes longer because you've got to redirect the whole direction of the kite in the first place. I mean, look at it, the kite's about 11 o'clock there, and then it has to go right the way back round the other side. Mate, the whole thing's an absolute nightmare, and the thing that really gets Hadlow is that he just doesn't have as much time. Look how much earlier Aaron's made contact with the water. All that time, Andrea's let the kite go behind him to slow him way down before he comes down soft. Hadlow doesn't have that luxury, so he just comes in hot. So yeah, in case I butchered that, which I do feel like I did, Andrea's riding faster, he gets the board off faster, he gets the loop done faster, all of which adds up to mean that he can spend more time in the air to come down slower. Thank you to me as always, see you in the next one. Bye.